Hi, today I'm with Sharon Cassidy, owner of Sharon Cassidy. Hi, Sharon, how are you today?
I'm well. Thanks, Dennis. Thanks for having me.
No problem. All right, I got some questions for you for your business. You ready?
Sure.
Okay, here we go. What does your business do?
So I'm a social media strategist. I help businesses get more sales through the use of social media. So social media strategy, what that means is, let's say a business has, what their business goals are. I match the strategy up to make sure that I can support the business goals. For instance, if a business wants to earn, for instance, $600,000 for an example, I would look at the cost of services being sold, whether or not they have events to do this, whatever I can do to support their goals to make sure they hit their target, again, their goal. That's what I do.
Now, what specific programs and services do you offer?
So I have social media strategy, consulting. I run Facebook ads and Instagram ads. And I also have a process that I created myself. It's group coaching. I call it the 4x4 process, which is very unique to me. It comes from my 10 years of experience with social media. So those are the services I offer.
Now, what type of clients do you have now?
So some of my clients, let's see, a life coach and is also an author, a couple of business coaches, manufacturer, trades, um, brick and mortar store, makeup artist, chamber, and tourism. And also within this 4x4 process, I coach entrepreneurs and small businesses. And within that, there can be several different types of businesses.
Now, who are your ideal clients?
So my ideal clients would be action takers, right? And what I mean by that specifically is in the way I work with my clients, we look at data all the time. I'm routinely following analytics um, based on what we've done for marketing and what works and what doesn't work. So depending on what works and what doesn't work, we might be changing some strategies on the quickly. So they have to be action takers. Also, they need to realize that marketing works. Marketing for 1 or 2 months or just dabbling in marketing doesn't work. It'll never work. But marketing does work. They just have to be consistent. Also, um, a good client for me would never buy fake followers. They're not concerned about vanity metrics at all. A great client for me actually would be a client that is more concerned with connecting with the right people, even if it's a smaller amount of people, but the people that buy or support them. And there's a big difference between vanity numbers. We'll never get you that. So yeah, so an ideal client recognizes real relationships.
Now, what do you mean by fake clients? I mean, fake numbers or followers.
So yeah, so actually, so there's some clients or some people, some businesses that will actually purchase and buy, say, Instagram followers or Facebook followers. And when you do that, um, the whole idea is when you run ad campaigns for your marketing, you don't want to, you're collecting data based on your numbers, based on people that are following you, based on the type of people that are following you. So if someone is to purchase fake followers, then the personas they're collecting, um, the money for retargeting, your targeted market will be off. The key point of retargeting your audience, your true followers, is the fact that you save money, is cost effective in your advertising, but you're also speaking directly to your audience, your prospects. And once you introduce fake followers, then that audience that you're relying on, the audience that you're nurturing day to day with your marketing, it's not your audience. In fact, usually if you look closer at numbers, you can kind of tell when you look at someone's number, followers. You might see that they're actually 13-year-olds and they're, they're not your buyers at all. Yeah. So anyway, just again, never buy fake followers. And that can kind of go with email lists as well, but we won't even get into that. So basically, um, yeah, there's nothing good comes from the numbers, just building your numbers.
So it's much better to have 100 real people who really like your product than thousands of people who may or may not like it.
Oh, absolutely. I would rather my client have 300 solid followers. When I say followers, right, what I really mean by that is connections that will buy and support them. Because if you have 300 followers and you're speaking to them and you're offering content to them, you're seeing exactly how they're responding if they like it or not, you'll get so much real feedback. You'll know how to take care of them. But if you're speaking to 10,000 people or followers, and a lot of them are bot, you don't know if your message, it just, you know, you're not talking to your audience. It's not your audience. They're never going to buy from you. So what is the point of talking to that audience and building a fan base that's never going to support you, right? Again, exactly what you said. Get to 100 people, 300 people. Of course, we want more, though, right? But focus on building relationships with core, real relationships first. Ignore the metrics of the numbers. Not the metrics. Let me take that back. Don't ignore the metrics, but ignore the number of followers that you have. The vanity metric.
That's great insight. I like that answer. I like that answer. Now, I'm sure you have lots of different stories. Can you tell me your most rewarding client moment or issue solved?
So recently, I finished a campaign, a Facebook ad campaign, Facebook and Instagram campaign. And the ad only went for a little over, not even a week. We spent under $400, and she earned back over slightly over $30,000. And what it was is back at this a little bit. So this particular client I started working with in December, and at the time, her Facebook fan page is about 1,500, 1,600 people. And at the time, her engagement for her page is great. People really like her content. Um, but she kind of dabbled in ads, in advertising, and it was never targeted ads. There's a Facebook pixel, which I'm sure a lot of people have already heard of or not, but the key thing with ads is retargeting people and building a warm market. So that's something she had the warm market with engagement, but we didn't utilize it, or she hadn't utilized it yet. So we ran a campaign, retargeted. We built custom and lookalike audiences and so forth, and ran a very targeted campaign. And so there she sold 15 spots for her group coaching. So it was good. It was a good thing.
Wow, great story. I like that.
Thank
Now,
you.
what makes your business unique?
Mm. I would say for myself, when I work with my clients, I focus on building real relationships with their customers. So ideally, what we want to do is build warm connections or real followers, and then always continuously be looking at the metrics and the data coming in. So even if so what I do is I work looking at the data weekly, generally, right? And if I'm running a Facebook campaign, I'll look at the data daily, constantly looking at the data because I want to know what the cost per click is, what the results are, always getting the cost down. Um, so if a client were to say, they want to look at the data daily, there's nothing wrong with that. Unfortunately, a lot of customers or a lot of businesses don't look at data at all. And you don't know really what works in marketing. You don't look at your data. So with me and being how I consider myself unique would be a combination of building relationships, looking at the metrics, as well as I have what I call the 4x4 process that I created. And that 4x4 process is unique to me. It's what I built and created um, from working with clients in social media field for the last 10 years. So what that includes is the 4 pillars, right? So there's the strategy. First, we build out strategy. And I touched on that a little bit in the beginning, right? Based on what the business goals are, the strategy has to match that and support the business goals. And then the second pillar would be the building the warm connections, right? So in that is starting out real relationships and making engaging content and so forth, and finding your targeted audience. That's where you start finding your audience. And then the third pillar would be advertising. Um, Facebook advertising and Instagram advertising is very powerful and is very cost effective. And what I believe is going to happen, right, and I'm far from the only one, is that within a couple of years, the cost for Facebook advertising and for Instagram advertising, um, digital advertising, in fact, other than Google Ads, because that's already up there, the cost will be increasing. So right now, small businesses can take part in social media advertising, which is extremely cost effective. Um, So, and with my in this within this pillar of advertising, I use two types of well, there's all different types of advertising, right? But I use two different types of purposes. One is to build that warm market that you will sell, or that you'll generate an offer to build that warm market is very important. And then that's a continuous type of ad. And then the second type would be a promotional ad, right? Because you actually want to make sales to these people, right? So that's the advertising, the small part of it. And then the fourth part is looking at the metrics. So you look at the fourth pillar is all about metrics, all types of metrics. It's looking at your pixel from your website. It's looking at your conversions and looking at Google Analytics. And then based on that, based on what's working, what's not working, you would tweak your strategy a little bit, right? And then start the process. It's a continuous process, 4x4 process. So I think that's very unique.
Two things I heard, and one is so with more and more people going online nowadays, is that is that going to help people in there with Facebook, or is it going to hurt people with the Facebook ads with more and more people being on?
It's a great question, and actually, it's going to help. So, with everything that's going on right now, right, in the economy and the COVID-19, so there's actually more people online now than there was 3 months ago. Now, if you asked me this question 3 months ago or 6 months ago, I would have said, absolutely, it's a great thing. Your audience is on social media. A lot of people want to, might say, well, I don't think my audience is there. No, your audience is on social media. Um, with the more people even now being on social media, right? I believe, and I could be off, that it's actually a 30% increase for the people that are on social media from, say, 4 months ago. And there already was a lot. So what's going on is the cost of advertising is actually going down because before, let's say for an example, 6 months ago, if you're running a campaign and you're targeting a certain industry, right, for your product or service, now there's a lot of people competing for that audience, right? But when there's more people online, the pool of people that you're targeting becomes larger. So there's more people to target, and that actually brings down the cost. So there's less competition because there's more people that you can advertise to. So I guess that was a long, long answer to your question, but yes, it's absolutely great. There's more people on social media. That's even more powerful.
Now, also the thing I got out of you, you've been doing this for 10 years.
Mhm.
I'm sure you have to keep up with a lot of different trends because it changes constantly.
Yes. So social media, as you're probably familiar, I know in the area what your background is with Google as well, right? Changes every couple of months. Google Analytics, just the way the dashboard looks, changes every couple of months. Online trends change constantly, and Facebook advertising and Instagram changes. You can be guaranteed it will change every couple of months, and not even just that, but they roll out changes. So what change you might get, right? I see it totally different because maybe I got this new feature first, or you got whatever. But yes, you have to stay in constant training for this, and that's something I've done for years. Is I've invested in um, constant training or people that I work with, and I would never let that go because I don't see how you could run Facebook ad campaigns and Instagram campaigns and so forth without being in the know all the time.
A lot of great information here. How do people learn more about you?
Thank you. Yes, so they can go to my website, is SharonLCassidy.com. And on my website, I have free resources and information, as well as they can join my newsletter, right? So my newsletter, I'll send out tips and strategy information on products and services and more information with about my 4x4 process. And as well as that, on my website, there's the 4x4 process, and that is a group coaching program that starts in June, so they can look at that as well. And on the website, there's some links to my social media as well, which is Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Now, what about if they want to get in touch with you personally?
Yes, so you can either email me at Sharon@SharonLCassidy.com, right? Or feel free to call my business number. It's 978-376-8234.
You have any final thoughts?
Yeah, I guess my final thought would be, again, your audience is on social media, and the people that connect with you, they're real relationships, right? To nurture. And social media provides a way for the first time where businesses get to show up with their business personality, right? Their business persona, but also personally. So it's the first time that you have the opportunity as a business to kind of build the know, like, and trust with your customers. And now more than ever, customers feel they need to trust you. Like they want to trust the companies that they work with. And again, I think we've all heard this before, is that people buy from people they trust, right? So that's it.
Well, thank you. This has been a pleasure, and best of luck to you and your business in the future.
Thank you.
For more information on Sharon, visit her website at sharonlcassidy.com. There you can find services including the 4x4 process and more information on the 4x4 process. To get in touch with her, please go to the contact page, fill out the form, or give her a call at 978 376 8234.